Now, before you cast judgment too quickly, remember that Opus trailers, with their completely inflatable structure, they've been out there running around the Australian outback for many years. Let's take a look at this.
Hi, I'm Alex and I am with GentleTent. We have fully inflatable rooftop tents here. We actually have the biggest inflatable rooftop tent in the world. This is our GT Skyloft. It fits 6 people. It is 110 pounds for the whole thing, all inclusive, including the frame. It can go onto pretty much any roof rack. This piece here, this is kind of like stand-up paddleboard material. And basically you just hook up the electric pump that comes with it and it inflates in about 15 minutes. This inflates to 8 PSI, and then we got these things that inflate to about 3 PSI. What's cool about these is that, so yes, it goes on your rooftop and you can fit a ton of people in here, 6 people. It fits 2 queen size mattresses. But if you get bored of rooftop camping, you can actually take it off and float it down the river, float it on the lake if you want. And you can even like unzip the tent from it as well. And you can turn it into a floating dock. It's got D-rings here, so you can anchor it or tie it to a kayak. And then it's even got handles in case you want to hold on while you're going down some whitewater rapids. I might not recommend the whitewater rapid thing, but yeah, you can definitely have some pretty cool adventures with this thing. So over here, we got the GT roof. This is a 2-person model. So this one's actually only 68 pounds, all inclusive, including the frame that goes on. So the cool thing about this thing is not only is it like it's got a lot of headroom to it as well, but I mean, like if you need to take it off for the winter or you want to put it on and off your car a lot, it's really easy to do it. You can lift it up, no problem. It's easy to install onto your rooftop. And then yeah, once you put it on, it takes about 10 minutes to fully inflate. You just set the air pump to the 8 PSI and walk away and it'll just stop once it's fully inflated. So you can get up and running in about 10 minutes, and then same thing, packing it away. It's nice and easy. You just fold it back on and zip it all up and then you're good to go. It sits about this far off your roof. It's about a 5-inch profile over your roof. So it packs down really small. So this one runs at 3,500, and then the GT Skyloft, the 6-person tent, runs at 5,500. We're out of actually Calgary, Canada. We ship all across North America. We're actually about 12 years old. Originated in Austria. The website is GentleTentNorthAmerica.com.
So last year at Expo PNW, I filmed this inflatable awning, and I noticed they were back at Expo this year. So, I mean, I guess they're doing okay. 2 years ago, I filmed the Opus trailers. Those also have a completely inflatable structure. I've seen them on Australian off-roading channels for years, and those things get put to the test. So while I feel like the knee-jerk reaction is inflatable, that can't be solid. I think it's a pretty proven technology. It's been around for quite a while. And as he said, they've actually been at it for 12 years selling inflatable rooftop tents in Europe. Now, is this a better solution than a more conventional rooftop tent, such as the clamshell style tents that set up very quickly and are solid? Here's what I like about the inflatable tent. First of all, it's just innovative. I always like seeing new, different approaches to the conventional thinking. They may not always be the best solutions, but I think it's good for everybody when companies are innovating, when they are trying to look beyond conventional ways of thinking and find possibly new solutions. Whether or not they're a better solution than conventional methods, you know, always remains to be seen. But if companies didn't innovate, who knows what old technology we'd all still be using. I like that it is ultra light. The smaller tent at 68 pounds, I mean, that's something that I could put on and take off of a vehicle by myself. Something like that is not going to impact the center of gravity of your vehicle in the least. Minimal stress on roof rack. I like that it sets itself up. I mean, sort of. Obviously, you have to take the cover off and then you have to start up the pump, but then, you know, it inflates, it expands, it takes form. You could be doing something else, setting up the rest of your camp while that's happening. So even with a 15-minute setup time, which to me feels slow, there is some efficiency there because you could be doing something else while it's taking care of setting itself up. Now, these are spacious and airy feeling. Even the small one felt roomy and not like over enclosed or claustrophobic. The big one obviously is mind-blowingly huge. What a great solution for a family with some kids. You've got space for the kids. You can even put a privacy wall between the two rooms. And I could literally stand up and walk around inside the big one, albeit a little bit stooped over. But still, I've never seen a rooftop tent that you could get up and walk around in. That said, for a fraction of the cost, you could buy 2 Gazelle tents, one for you, one for your kids, set up in a fraction of the time. Obviously, at that point, you are then on the ground instead of elevated off the ground, which is what some people like. It's what appeals to people about being in a rooftop tent. And I think that's legit. But there are solutions available to house, a family of 4 without necessarily spending $5,500 on an inflatable tent. So the expense of these is probably top of my list for what I don't like about them. It's a lot of money for what it is. The price is comparable to more expensive rooftop tents. I think personally, if I was going to spend $3,500 on a smaller tent, I would rather get a rigid clamshell. You open a couple of clamps, pops open, done. Same thing for closing it down, pull it down, shut the clamps, done. Not all of this folding of material, trying to get a cover over the top of it. Setup and breakdown of that inflatable tent with the amount of time it takes, manipulating all of the material, getting a cover on there. On a nice day, tolerable. But if it starts raining on you, that is not fun. And speaking of weather, that would be another concern for me. The material on these is very, very thin and light. Now that adds a nice, light, airy feeling on a hot summer day, but the material is clearly not waterproof. Now they come with an additional rain fly, but that's like another thing that you have to handle and put on. He did tell me that the rain fly can stay on when it gets packed up, though I can imagine perhaps that would make packing the thing away a little more difficult. And also, looking at the photos on the website, if this is the rain fly, I mean, yeah, it's gonna help when the rain is coming straight down with no wind, but for me, 9 times out of 10, when it's raining, the rain is coming at a diagonal. That thing is still gonna get wet. I don't think I would wanna camp in this tent in the rain. I was also skeptical about wind, but they claim that it is extremely sturdy in the wind. I didn't get this on camera, but he told me that they did a test where they set up the tent, got it all set up, and drove 50 miles an hour down the road, and the thing just stayed rigid, didn't even flex or flop. So perhaps wind would be less of a concern. Now this is me speculating. I don't know, I haven't camped in this tent. I'm just giving you my impressions. And as I mentioned before, they say 15 minutes to set it up. And while it does sort of take care of itself once it's inflating, 15 minutes to me seems like a long time to get a tent set up. If you're dealing with an inclement weather situation and you need shelter right away, 15 minutes can be forever when you're standing out in the rain. Now I realize a lot of people don't go camp in the fall, winter, spring like I do. For summer camping, got a small car, it doesn't seem like a terrible solution. And this was just interesting to look at. I like to be open-minded about products that are out there, not jump to conclusions too quickly. So even if the GentleTent is not the solution for you, I hope you still found this interesting, fun to look at. I certainly enjoyed looking at it, getting inside, checking it out, looking at something that's, a little bit outside the norm. I'll put a link to the GentleTent website in the description below if you want to take a closer look at it. And thank you for watching.